Hey guys, I want to try and show a tutorial on how we can set up a flying either drone, or in this case we're going to go with a sort of bird of prey, sort of like if you've played either Assassin's Creed Odyssey or Origins. While your little dude's walking around, you hit the button and you pop up into the bird and you kind of fly around. You can see stuff down on the ground. You can stop. You can take a look at them. You can spot things. You can spot people if that works. That one you can't see him because he's behind a tree. Anyway, I'm going to show you how to do this, how to set this up. This first one will be just pretty simple. We'll do a quick setup. So I'm going to jump over to this new project. So this is sort of just a quick projects that I put together with the third person template. It's got some other stuff in it, but this should be able to get us started here. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to set up two characters. So you've got your first third person character, and this is the one that should come with any new project in your third person blueprint. If you open this up, you're going to see some pretty basic movement stuff. All of this comes standard. For our purposes, we're not going to do any VR, so we can delete that. We do want the movement and the turning. Mouse input is fine. Jump is fine. Input touch, not worried about that right now. So that kind of cleans that up. You should be able to go in here. I'm using a controller. So you can run around, you can jump, works fine. Real quick, one of the things I like to set up in project settings is on your, I think it's on play, that's editor settings actually. Play. If you set game gets mouse control, you don't have to click in there every time. Sometimes that's useful, but in most cases I find that to be a bit of a pain in the butt. So what you can do if you want to hit play, you immediately get the control. If you need to pop out, you hit Shift F1 and that gives you your mouse back, and then you can go you can move stuff to the side, so you can do some debugging or whatever you need to do. Okay, so that character's set up. That should be good for what we need. And then the other thing we're going to do is we're going to add a new I'm not sure what they call these. I guess it's part of a feature or content pack. But this is basically going to bring in the flying template from the I guess this flying sample project is what they call it. So we're going to bring that in. I think did that work? Oh yeah, brought it in already. So you can close that. It does that pretty quick. So now we've got a new blueprint, and this is the flying pawn. And this has some a little bit more going on in here, but it's not too crazy. It's pretty simple stuff. It's on tick. It's checking for your basically it's getting your forward vector, and then sort of applying that. You can increase the speed. It's always going to be flying forward. So if you want to test this out, you can grab this, place it in here, put it up in the air, probably better. And then over here in your settings, you should be able to auto possess player, put it to 0, and now you're controlling this. So pretty simple. I'm left on the left stick. He flies right on the right stick, kind of does the turning, or not. Now the turning stopped working. Interesting. I have not played around with this one too much. This is what I started with. Oh, the turning is automatic. So basically we're able to fly this little guy, and we can mess with that a little bit later. So I'm going to go back to this and uncheck that because I still want to get into this, and you'll see him, he's kind of flying off on his own there, which is fine. We don't actually need the spaceship in here, because what we're going to do is we're going to set it up so that we can go into that ship from the player. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to open up that third person character, and we're going to go into the viewport, and we're going to add a component under the mesh. Actually, under capsule component is fine. We're going to add a box collision. This is just a simple collider box, and what we're going to do is going to move this up in the air somewhere, and then we're going to increase the extent. So it's 32 by 32 by 32. We're going to make it, let's just do 200, or 250 is fine, 250, and maybe do 50 just for fun. That doesn't particularly matter. Okay, so now we've got our box, and then what we're going to do is we're going to add some code here. So I'm going to use the up on the D-pad for now. Oh, you have to put the dash. Gamepad, D-pad, up. When we press that, we are going to spawn. Man, I can't spell. Spawn an actor. Where is it? Actor from class. And we're going to spawn that flying pawn that we just played around with. So this is going to add that player, or that little spaceship somewhere. And we have to tell it where. And this is going to take the box, and we're going to get world location. And we're going to learn to type. Get the world location, and then we're going to get the scaled box extent, so we know the size of the box based on its scale. And then we're going to, from that, we're going to get a random point in the bounding box, and that's so within this box we're going to find a random point from that world location. Or this is the world location of that box, and this is the extent of that box. So it's telling us where it is and how big it is. And from that, we're going to get, we're gonna figure out what that location is. And then if you right-click here, you can split that. And a transform is just a location, rotation, and scale. So we're gonna set that to our location, and then we're gonna get the capsule component and get the world rotation of this, so that we ensure that we're facing the same direction as the world, or as the capsule component. So that way, when we spawn that, it should be flying in the right direction. So if we go back into the game, you look up, there's nothing there. You push up on the D-pad, there's your spaceship, and it's flying forward from where you are. So how do we control that? So from here, what we're going to do is we are going to set the view target with blend, and that is, yeah, we actually have to get that from here, and set use view. Oh, you know what? This isn't. We have to get the controller. I forgot about that. Player. So get the player controller. So that's the piece that is allowing us to control the actual person, to control whatever in the world is the object that we want them controlling. So either our little mannequin character or the spaceship. And from here, I think we should be able to set view target with blend, and the target is going to be this actor that we just spawned. Now what that's going to do is that's going to change our viewpoint to the camera that exists on there. So when we spawn this guy, now we're up here. Now we don't have control of it yet. I can't move around, but I can see what it's doing and where it's going. So it's moved my view up there. So over here, we're going to go back here, and we are going to, we are going to unpossess. We're going to use that controller again. So what this is going to do is allow us to exit whatever we're controlling at the moment, which in this case will be the mannequin character. So it's going to take us out of control of the mannequin character, and then we're going to possess the spaceship. So this one needs a target. It needs to know what it is that we're trying to possess. So we're going to take that from there. I like to keep my nodes fairly clean right from the start, just keep stuff out of the way. Okay, so now this should put us in control of this this spaceship now. So I can move from the mannequin to this spaceship, Now if I hit up on the D-pad again, it doesn't do anything, and I have no way of getting back to my character and controlling him. So we have to switch over, and we're going to take a look at the actual spaceship and put those controls in. So let's see. We're going to do the same thing, D-pad up, just to make it simple. We're going to use the same controls for that, or to get in and out of the control of this. And then we're going to do another, get the player controller again. And we're going to set that view target. Oh, you know what? I forgot to do one thing. We're going to do view target with blend, but first we have to actually go back over here. And we need to set, we're going to set up a variable. So we're going to promote this to a variable. So we're going to take the pawn that we've created, and we're going to call, actually, you know what? I'm sorry, I'm doing this wrong. This is going to be, let me check my notes real quick. This is the actual, we want to get a reference to self. And then from here, we want to, in our flying pawn, we're going to create a variable here, and we're going to call this original player. And this is going to be of the type, what was that called? Third person. So we're going to find that third person character blueprint here, and we're going to get an object reference to that. So we want this to exist on our flying pawn. So what this is going to do, this allows us to reference back to that. So over here, we're going to get that original player. Oops, I'm not get it. I want to set it. So we want to set the original player to self before we unpossess. So that way we are able to, we know we know who that is, who we need to go back to when we want to switch back. So now we've got that set. Over here, we can take that original character and put that into our view target. So when we press up on the D-pad, we're going to do this. We're going to switch the camera again, and I'm going to take this player controller here, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to possess and unpossess. So this time, since we are currently possessing the flying pawn, we're going to get out of that, and then we're going to possess. And we need a target, and it's going to be this again. So this will let us get back into our player. And then at this point, for now, what we want to do, we don't want that, we don't want the flying pawn to keep flying around. So what we're going to do is we're going to just destroy actor. So that's going to destroy this instance of the flying pawn. So we should be able to go here, run around, hit up on the D-pad. We can fly this little guy around here. Oh, look at those flying skills. And then hit up on the D-pad again, and we are back here, and it is gone. So I can bring it again, and it's always attached to my player, because we attach it to that the collision capsule for the player. So what this is going to do is it's always wherever he's at, wherever our mannequin is at, it's gonna go up to somewhere in that box randomly and let us fly around here. So that is pretty much it. That's the quick and dirty setup, just to get the flying part in there. And you know, whatever sort of art you want to do, you can make that a bird, you can make that a drone, you can, I don't know, make it yourself flying in the air if you want. But that's the pretty quick and dirty. So next time we'll start looking at how we can put together some of the spotting features, and we'll have to put some stuff in the world that we can actually spot and play around with that. So thanks for watching, and hope you enjoyed it.